Good evening, gamers! Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Fry, congrats on first. JD, congrats on second. Jem, congrats on third. Hello, Dahlia. Hello, hello, good evening. And Fluffy, thank you for the 7 months of subs. Thank you, thank you. They're delicious. Yummy subs. Another stream, yes. Yes, indeed. Because we're very close to finishing this game. And unfortunately, I just could not wrap it up before yoga today. So we will finish this last little route, which is gonna be the true ending, which we saved the best for last, of course. 2 streams in 1 day. Hey Magda, hello, hello, welcome back, welcome back. Hello Spooky. So we have our little flowchart here, as you can see. We've gotten the other endings. We got our submarine. Everybody died. We got our knife. Most of us died. We got the safe ending. A lot of people died. I don't know that we all did. It was a little unclear. Axe ending. Everyone died basically. So you know what? We have one ending left. It's the true ending. Hopefully that means it's a good ending, but I guess I don't know for sure. We could have a tragic end still, but fingers crossed that we survive. A glub glub, thank you, Fry, thank you, thank you. JD says, so many people have decided to stream tonight, but Fangy draws first blood by starting the earliest. First blood. Alrighty. So there's one key that's locked on this section of the flowchart, which means there's something here that we need to do in order to trigger the good ending, or the true ending. I don't know what it is. Presumably something with Clover, but I don't know for sure. There's blood on the chair. Do you think this was the dead guys? Yeah, probably. It's kind of creeping me out. Alright, so let's make sure we interact with everything. There's something metallic on top of the table. Hey, is that a music box? Well, let's have a look. I'm gonna try and interact with everything. I moved the sheets and took a look under the bed. There's a lot of space. Somebody could hide down there. Then you could hide other stuff too. Huh? You mean, like this body? Yeah, but whoever killed him didn't do that. Why not? Well, you couldn't hide the blood. I suppose you could cover it up with like a sheet or something, though. Well, let's see. I guess I can think of 4 possibilities. They might have just not noticed the space under the bed, or they didn't think of hiding the body, or they didn't have the time to hide it, or they wanted us to find it. Maybe they didn't want to hide it. Maybe they wanted us to find it to prove a point or something. That's what I think too. JD said if only you had extra strength detergent to get the bloodstains out of the chair. But that was a different route. We don't have that in this route. Yeah, this is fine, don't worry. Ignore the blood, everything's fine. I want to look at this window. Those are some nice curtains. A camcorder. It looks like it's pointing at the door. Well, the power's on. Why would someone want to videotape a door? I think this kind of camera records to a hard drive, but it doesn't look like this one's recording anything. What do you mean? It's just sending whatever it sees to something. What does it see? The door. JD says, ignore the fact that it looks like they just filmed a hostage video in here. True. There's a plaque on the door, but it doesn't say anything. So this is the exit, huh? Don't even really have to try this door to know that it's locked. I knew it. Alright. A bed. There's nothing in it. A bed. Nothing suspicious here. It's a lamp, but it doesn't turn on. I don't think there's anything special about it. A lamp, but nothing to see here. There's a lamp with a shade on it on the table. And something else. Something metal. It looks like a music box. Oh, it's one of those old music boxes. How about we wind it up? Why does it sound like that? Is it broken? The pins on the cylinder are shaped all weird. I don't think those are the pins. It looks like someone put something else on top of it. I think we're gonna have to take it apart to figure out what's going on, don't you? Yeah, so this is all stuff that we did earlier today. But there's something here that we missed. Or didn't have available to us earlier. I think this probably used to be a door. But nobody's going through it as long as this metal plate's here, though. Well, even without the metal plate, the desk's in the way. Ah, hey game guy! Hello, hello! You're on a twice-stream streak? Holy crap! Nice job! Thank you for coming to my streams. They look like batteries. There's a cable running from them to the monitor. That's a lot of batteries. A chair. There's a thick metal plate over the door. Alright, so this is where I got the hexadecimal cheat sheet. There's 4 rows of numbers and letters. They all start with 0 and end with A, F, N, or V, respectively. Maybe this has something to do with number bases. Alright, so we got our hex. There's a bunch of weird buttons on here. Oh no. Maybe I was supposed to click on this before touching that. Maybe that's the thing that I missed last time. Do you know how to work this thing? Why don't we just press one of these, like this one? Well, I guess it does change the... What the hell is this? Oh, now I'm nervous. What if that was the thing we needed for this key? Although it looks like it's in the second half, doesn't it? Something else came up first. Ugh, let's just keep running with it. Fingers crossed we didn't mess it up. Hey, isn't the door on the screen the one right behind us? You're right. So whatever that camera sees is sent to this screen in real time. I wonder if that means something, you know? The screen is showing the door behind us.
Huh.
Alright, we can zoom through this. We'll zoom through the stuff we've already read before.
Well, even if he wasn't one of us, there's no way that man could be Zero.
Oh, so this is new dialogue that we didn't have the first time.
Huh?
Don't you get it? The letters that spell Zero on the TV screen, the captain's clothes he's got on, and of course, the bracelet with a 0 on it. It's too obvious. Look, this is Zero right here. This dead body is Zero. Isn't that kind of fishy?
It's pretty fishy.
You're right. Only an idiot wouldn't see through something like that.
No, that's not the point. So I'm not trying to make fun of them for thinking a trick like this would work. I'm sure they didn't think it would work, which makes me wonder. I think this is a challenge. A challenge from the person who's really behind all of this. He's making fun of us.
What? I don't like being made fun of.
Don't you get it? If whoever killed this guy really wanted us to think this corpse was Zero, they'd never have put a bracelet on him. Walking around with a 0 bracelet would be like hanging a sign around your neck that said, "I did it!"
Also, I still think a 0 would be someone that's young. I think it's going to be a previous participant in the first Nonary game.
Anyone with a brain would
So I
be
think it's
able
a
to see
youngin'.
that this guy is supposed to look like everything Zero is supposed to be. Just like we did. The killer must have known we wouldn't think he was Zero and put the bracelet on him anyway. Do you know why?
I think he's probably one of the dudes from the list of people we got in our first ending. One of the people that is from the pharmaceutical company or whatever.
Why?
Like I said, he's mocking us. Too bad, suckers, this isn't Zero. Where's the real me then? See if you can catch me. It's the same bad joke a lot of criminals like to play. They'll just sit back and watch people run in circles.
That's really twisted. But it almost seems kind of childish.
Yeah, see, I think it's a kid.
Yeah, you're right. It's really childish. It's like it's just a game to whoever this person is. That's what seems funny to me.
Junpei bent down next to the corpse.
Alright, let's get back to the point. Who killed this man?
I don't know.
And what's this guy's deal? Who is he?
How would I know that? If I knew anything, I would have told you.
You have no idea who he is.
Why would I?
'Cause you've been here before, Clover. I'm onto you. My theory is that the first no-nary game is all siblings, and that she was with Snake in the first one. Junpei sat back on his haunches and thought.
We should check and see if he's got anything on him that might tell us who he is. Give me a hand here, Clover.
Huh?
We gotta flip him over. How else are we gonna search his pockets?
Clover didn't move.
Okay, fine. Guess I'll do it.
Not everybody's comfortable touching a dead body, Junpei. Junpei had no choice but to move the body on his own.
Here we go.
He grabbed hold of an area not completely covered in blood and shoved. It took a moment, but eventually Junpei felt the man's bulk begin to shift. But just as it did,
Huh?
something fell from the man's left wrist.
Hey, it's the
bracelet with 0 on the face.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1. You escape from this ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or the paraxatic mirror's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
I don't know why they're reiterating this.
Oh god.
Junpei stared at the bracelet.
This man, he's dead, isn't he?
Obviously? Did you not realize that? How did Junpei not realize that?
Huh?
No, it's just I guess I didn't really think about it until right now.
What?
If his bracelet's off, that means he's dead.
Yes.
Well,
He looks
it's pretty
very dead.
obvious that he's dead. You don't really need to look at his bracelet to figure out that he's dead.
Thank you, Clover.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It is pretty obvious. Well, he looks a lot better than the other bodies we've seen, though. You know?
I guess. He's not exploded. Hey, Spanky. Good evening.
I mean, if there wasn't all this blood, he'd almost look like he was still alive. I mean, I know it's kind of a messed up thing to say, but he kind of has it better, you know?
Junpei.
Dying from a
Just
bomb
stop
going off
talking.
inside of you. I mean, that's just. Some of Snake's bones went right through his skin. I think the explosion must have thrown him against a wall or
Why
something.
would you say that to his sister?
There was a
Even
broken bone
I'm
just
not that
sticking out of
socially
his left arm.
inept. And I'm a socially awkward cryptid. And even I know that's not something you say. I know they want to reiterate the broken bone thing so that Clover will be like, what are you talking about? But there's gotta be a better way to do it.
And
Suddenly, Junpei realized what he was saying. How could he have been so cruel? He clapped his hands over his mouth. But it was already too late. He turned to look at Clover. She was glaring at him furiously.
What did you just say?
Her words sounded cold. He knew an apology could hardly atone for what he'd done, but he tried anyway.
oh man, I am so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I really don't know what I was thinking. I mean,
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What did you say about his arm?
arm?
Yes, his left arm. You said it, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did, but I mean, didn't you see it too?
Of course not. I could barely look at him. There's no way I was gonna see the details.
Clover took a quick, deep breath.
Are you sure it was his left arm?
Junpei thought back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
And he had a broken bone, right?
What the hell are you getting at here?
Just shut up and answer me!
She shoved her face closer to his. He could see the fire in her eyes. Junpei winced and swallowed.
Yeah, he did. It was pretty bad too. The bone was sticking out of the arm.
No sooner were the words out of his mouth than Clover's expression changed.
Clover? What's wrong? Look, I'm sorry if I said anything.
Suddenly, she was crying. Junpei wasn't sure what to do.
Thank you.
It was close to the last thing he'd expected to hear.
Huh? What are you...
Junpei had no idea what had just happened. He didn't think he'd done anything worthy of thanks, and he couldn't understand why she would have chosen that moment to begin crying. I don't think people choose to cry. It just kind of happens. You don't choose to do it. So he simply stood there confused.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She thanked him again, and then something even stranger happened. Clover threw herself into Junpei's surprised arms.
Hey, what's going on with you?
I'm sorry, it's just... I'm so happy!
Why?
The body in the shower room, it isn't his! It isn't my brother!
Huh?
It's not Snake!
Why on earth would you think that?
Because his left arm is...
She stopped herself.
I'm sorry. I really shouldn't be talking about this.
No, you really should. It's relevant.
Uh,
Junpei decided it would be prudent not to press her for any more information. If she did not wish to tell him, she certainly had a reason for doing so. Perhaps more importantly, however, if Clover was so certain, then she was likely right. That meant that the body in the shower room wasn't Snake. It wasn't much, but that knowledge lifted some of the weight from Junpei's heart.
But he's still alive. I'm so happy.
Tears shone in her eyes. Those tears melted Junpei's heart. As she cried, she'd pushed herself up against his chest like a child. Junpei put his arms around her and held her tight.
I'm so glad.
huh?
Junpei, you were right.
Huh?
No matter what happens, you can never lose hope.
Okay, so now she's not gonna go on an axe murder spree. That's good. That's good. One death averted.
You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love.
Now we just gotta disarm Ace.
If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck.
Clover reached into her pocket and pulled something out.
That's...
It was a laminated bookmark with a 4-leaf clover.
I only made it here because you gave me this. I was suspicious of everybody, and I was angry and miserable.
Kitty, thank you for lurking.
But because I had this 4-leaf clover, because of what you said to me,
Yeah.
Junpei hadn't thought his words would have such an effect on her. Her words were making him feel a little awkward.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She looked up at him. He scratched his nose and pretended to notice something interesting somewhere else in the room.
Oh, if you really want to thank somebody, you should be thanking Santa.
Santa? Why?
Well, he was the one who gave me that thing. And the words for each leaf, I got that from him too.
Oh.
Then suddenly, Clover broke away from Junpei.
Huh?
He looked confused. He hadn't thought she'd react that poorly. Clover began to pace across the room. Six steps to the left, 6 steps to the right, another 6 to the left, and then she stopped.
Did Santa really tell you those things?
Her eyes were serious but not angry.
Yeah, he did. Did I, say something wrong?
So our first playthrough was the safe ending, and in that one, we learned from Santa that he had a sister that was killed 9 years ago, I think, was the implication. So my theory had been that he was Zero, and that he was trying to get revenge for his sister. So maybe this ties into that.
Oh no, not at all. In fact, this could be really good news, I think.
You think?
Santa knew about the words and the clover. The only people who should know about that are the other subjects.
The other subject. Okay, so... Alright, so that... Okay, so I might be right. So then... Lotus's 2 children, and then Snake and Clover, and then Santa and his sister. For some reason, they did siblings. Spiky says those headphones aren't connected to anything. It might be earmuffs. Because I thought it was headphones at first, too. But then I was like, maybe it's earmuffs.
Subjects.
The other people who were in the experiment 9 years ago, with my brother and me.
So she was in the Nonary game 9 years ago when she was 9? Because she's 18 right now, according to JD.
But he's blind, and I was part of the Nevada test group.
Nevada? What?
So neither of us would be able to recognize the faces of the people who were on this boat.
What does the Nevada test group mean?
Whoa, okay, time out.
I know it's a state, JD. Junpei held up his hands. He took a deep breath and let it out.
Let's just calm down for a second, okay? Start from the top. Don't start with the end and then jump to the middle. You gotta start with 1 and then move to 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. If you don't tell me stuff in the right order, I'm never gonna be able to figure it out.
Okay.
Clover nodded.
All right, let's start with this experiment. What happened on this boat 9 years ago?
Do you know about morphogenetic fields?
Yes.
Morphogenetic fields.
That's what Lotus taught us about. He did, and the realization sent chills down Junpei's spine.
All right, how about this? Theory of the telepathic mechanism.
I think Lotus mentioned something like that.
Junpei recounted what Lotus had told him earlier. Clover nodded.
Telepathy, huh?
But did she tell us that in this route? This is 7. Doesn't she tell you that in the middle one? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, that's not
I'm trying to figure out if he
I
remembers
suppose
stuff from
similar.
other routes that he shouldn't remember.
So they were testing telepathy on this ship?
Yeah, I guess so.
So, what exactly did they have you guys do?
The same thing that we're doing now. Exactly the same thing.
What?
The nonary game. 9 people were put on this boat, and 9 others were put in the building in Nevada, and the game started.
Oh. Oh, okay. Huh. So she wasn't on the boat with Snake then before. Snake was on the boat and then she was in Nevada. But 9 and 9 is 18. And we heard that there were 16 people previously, not 18. So who were the 2 extra people? I've played these games before. Junpei grabbed the sides of his head.
Look, I'm sorry, but I don't get it. What do the nonary game and some telepathy experiment have to do with each other? Am I missing something here?
Clover bit her lip. She blinked back sudden tears. What happened to her in Nevada?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. You know how sometimes when you're up against a really tough problem, and then the answer just kind of pops in your head? That's an epiphany. And what you learn from the epiphany can be transmitted with telepathy.
Okay.
When you add danger to that equation, then it gets easier to transmit that information over telepathy.
Okay. So, like, they would put the boat people in dangerous situations, and then the Nevada people are supposed to have epiphanies and transmit stuff to them?
So you're saying the nonary game was supposed to introduce that element of danger?
Yeah, but it couldn't be just any old danger. It had to be life and death. And someone did actually die. A girl.
Santa's sister.
Huh.
Junpei felt a sudden grip of despair on his heart. Something deep and distant and powerful squeezed, and for a moment he felt very, very empty and alone.
She was on the boat with my brother.
Okay, so then Santa was with her in Nevada? Maybe?
I was in Nevada. I never met her, but I did hear her name. Her name was...
The sound of the door opening was like a gunshot. Junpei spun around.
Oh, my apologies. I seem to have disturbed you.
Yeah, get out of here, Ace!
Ace.
You two must have strong stomachs. I can't imagine how you could stay in this room for so long.
That's true, we are just chilling with a dead body. Ace glanced down at the floor, at the corpse covered in blood.
At any rate, Junpei, would you be so kind as to come and help me with something?
Do I have to?
I'm having a little trouble and I could really use your assistance. Come on. It'll only take a
Okay, so
moment.
this is when he's gonna steal my papers in my pocket. With that, he turned and walked back towards the communications office. Clover waited until he was out of sight, then spoke in a small, quiet voice.
I don't want Ace to hear us. We can talk about this later.
Huh? Hey, wait!
Clover ignored him. From outside, Junpei could hear Ace calling.
Junpei? What are you doing in there? Hurry up!
Grumbling to himself, Junpei stomped off towards the communications office. Alright, cool, we unlocked the one key. Nice. Alright. Where'd he go? Here? Junpei, what are you doing? We've searched the wheelhouse from top to bottom. There's no reason to go back. In fact, don't you think it'd be wise to investigate the captain's quarters? I think we ought to check both rooms, don't you? Should I redo the puzzles? Or can I use the flowchart now to go here? It looks like it's unlocked now. So I think we can just go to here. Outside the room. Noom. Okay, so something is going to be different.
A note.
A note?
Yeah, I found it in the pocket of the guy with the captain's clothes.
Okay, so this is the note she found in our first playthrough that led her back to the safe?
It said something about the darkness of the sinister hand or something.
What the hell? Let me see it.
No, not right.
But Junpei wasn't going to get to see it. From the other end of the hall, he heard Ace's voice.
Hey, Junpei, Clover! What are you two doing? Hurry up!
He's getting mad.
Clover shrugged.
I'll show it to you later, all right? Come on, we gotta hurry.
Before Junpei could protest, she was gone. Around the corner and off down the long stem of the L. A note. A note. Junpei was curious, but there was something else that bothered him.
From the look of that pocket, it doesn't particularly look like just a note.
Yeah, she took the watch.
Jeez, what are you thinking?
But at least she didn't take the axe.
For crying out loud.
Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later, and ran off after Clover. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs.
Big stairs. So this is where it ends up, just like it says on the map.
It was just what he'd expected to see after reading the map. His I see after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realized the same thing.
Ace, did he head down?
He put his hand on the handrail and leaned over to look down.
Oh, there he is.
Look, the 4 others are there too.
Okay, so far everything is normal. They reached B deck at the same time.
Jumpy! Clover!
June's face was excited. Something had happened, that much Junpei could tell by simply looking at her.
What's up?
Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself.
We found it!
Found what?
We found it!
What did you find?
So far, this seems to be the same.
The last door! We found door 9!
What? Come on! Just follow us! We'll explain on the way!
Okay.
Alright, so we're all gonna go to door 9 this time. 7 turned and jogged off down the stairs.
Well, if that's the case...
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
The rest followed.
Jumpy! We finally made it!
The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each one of them felt.
Yeah, it's finally time.
Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it, at least not just yet. Still, if everyone said it was door 9, then it probably was.
We've reached the end.
So, like, we understand how Snake, Clover, Ace, Lotus, Santa, Ninth Man, we understand how they're all connected to this, but we don't understand how Junpei and June are connected to this. because everyone else is connected to the previous game. Junpei could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one.
Something's bothering me. Only 3 to 5 people can go through the numbered door. 7 of us are on our way to door 9. That means that, best case scenario, there will be 2 of us who have to stay behind. 2 people. Is there a way?
Junpei looked over at the clock.
4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left. I've got no time to wonder about it now.
Hey, Junpei! June! What the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up!
Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverie.
Let's go, Jumpy!
June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could.
Yeah.
Junpei followed. Game? My game crashed! Game? Why? Oh no. Why? I'm booting it back up. Dang it. Ugh. We're gonna have to noom through some text. Sorry, guys. What the heck? Oh, man. Yeah, darn. There's a way to go down here. Oh, man. Okay, here's the angle to look at the bed. And then we talk about how there's no body under there. Boop, 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 boop. I never actually clicked on these before, so I kind of want to click on them real quick. Okay, press the button. Ba -ba 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 -ba. Okay.
Huh.
Alright, so now he's gonna talk with Clover about it.
Well, don't
Okay, so
feel
I'm
bad,
gonna
but
zoom
it's-
through
look,
this.
it's-
I'm
No,
sorry, guys. I
I'm
should have been
sure-
saving, but
If whoever walking
I didn't-
anyone
I
just
didn't
like
know the game would
killer, do you know
crash.
why?
Why?
Like I too bad.
Where's
It's the
Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Who killed? And what's?
How would
You have no.
What?
We should give me it. We got it. Oh.
click, 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 click.
Huh?
Click, 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 click,
Hey.
click, 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 click.
Not two.
Also, hey, Snowflakes.
Oh, this man. No, if his. Yeah. Well,
My,
I
my
mean-
game
I mean,
crashed,
dying
so we were
from some of-
quickly
there was
trying to
some-
get back to where we
and-
were. Okay, so now we know Snake is alive,
Yes!
Well, I mean.
Of course!
and she's gonna be
Are
super
you-
happy.
Yeah.
My immersion's in
I mean,
what the
pieces.
hell?
Just
Oh no!
Yeah. Clover,
Click,
what's
click,
wrong?
click, click, click,
Look.
click. Come on.
Huh?
Click, click, click.
Hey, why?
My hands
Huh?
get
It's
tired.
because
There's so much clicking.
But he's I'm so
Huh?
no matter you had
I'm gonna save after this just in case the game crashes
Uh,
again somehow.
I was up because I had because of
Yeah.
thank you so much.
I guess we can switch to advanced mode too,
Oh,
or adventure mode.
Well, and the word.
Oh.
That should speed it up a little bit. A
Huh?
little bit less clicking. And we're pacing, we're pacing. We're pacing.
Yeah. Did I?
Oh no. In fact,
You think?
So Santa was in the
Some-
experiment.
but and also
Let's just start. If you don't.
His
Okay.
sister was the one that
Do you know-
died.
All right. Theory.
I think.
well
So there were.
yeah.
Click,
So
click, click, click.
what?
The no nine,
Look. What? Am I?
the first.
We're almost there,
that's
guys,
the
we're almost
one
there.
when you-
So you're.
Yeah,
Sorry about this.
And some she was I did.
Oh, my.
Ace.
You two. I can't.
Ace
Edit,
tries to
I'm
talk
ha-
about
come
me
on.
again.
I don't
Huh?
Junpei?
Okay. Save. Alright, and now we can go to the flowchart again. We can come down here. Oh, we're almost
All right,
back.
let's go.
Nyum. Nyum. Now we have to go back for Clover.
No.
And she found
yeah,
a note.
He's
And she can't show it to us.
From the look.
Ba. We're almost there.
The big, just like Ace. Oh,
Look.
really?
Let's jump.
What's up?
We
Found.
Ba.
What did you?
You guys found door 9.
Come on!
Okay.
Well,
Wait for me.
We should get going.
jump. We find.
Yeah, we've reached the end.
Okay, the game had
Something's
crashed
wrong.
shortly after this.
Only 3 to 5
So let's
people
save
can go
again.
through the numbered door.
And then hopefully it won't crash again. I don't know what caused it to break last time. Let's swap back to novel.
Is there?
He's talking about how not everybody can get to
Hey.
the door.
Let's.
Yeah.
And then it crashed when we got to this elevator. So fingers crossed. Come on, don't crash, don't crash. Okay, it opened this time. Last time it didn't open. Alright. Oh, we're in. Safe. As a group, they piled onto the elevator and rode impatiently down to E deck. It looked familiar. There was a metal grate between the two elevators. Seven grabbed a hold of it and began to talk.
I know I told you I'd explain it earlier, but honestly, there ain't much to explain. After we split off from you guys, the 4 of us got into the elevator on the left, and that took us to the other side of the grate. After that, we headed down another hallway. It took us toward the bow, and eventually to the number 6 that you two found earlier. We opened it and kept going. There was another locked door behind it, like usual, but this time we had to complete 2 different areas before we could unlock it. Once we were through that door, there was another hallway that went the other direction, toward the stern.
So, on your way, you found the elevator.
That's right.
So, in other words, you kinda did a lap, huh? You came from that side to this side.
Yeah.
With that settled, Junpei looked around.
So, where's the number 9 door?
Over here.
Seven began walking down the hallway that led towards the stern. Junpei and the others broke into a jog to keep up with them.
By the way,
They'd been walking for a while. June in silent step with Junpei when she spoke.
you know, it's because of Santa that we're all here right now.
Yeah, 'cause he's 0.
Huh?
That all 7 of us are going to door 9.
What?
You don't get it? Santa, 7, and Lotus. What's their digital route?
3, so 10, 18, 9. 3 plus 7 plus 8 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
9. It's 9.
That's right. They could have just left me behind and kept going if they'd wanted to.
That's a good point.
But they didn't.
Yes, because Santa wouldn't let them.
Really? 7 and Lotus wanted to leave her behind?
He said, we can't leave June and the others behind. That's why we went looking for you guys.
And then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase.
That's right.
Well, I wouldn't have called that one. That Santa would be the one to stick up for you.
Junpei felt his eyebrows knit as he considered that.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Perhaps June had sensed Junpei's concern.
I don't mean that Seven and Lotus said they wanted to leave me behind. We were just talking about it, and Santa objected to it first.
Okay, good to know.
Is that so?
Junpei was about to respond when 7 suddenly stopped.
We're here.
In front of them stood a door.
So, is this...
Yeah.
Junpei couldn't see 7's face, but he could see him nod.
There's no other place for us to go.
Nope. Just look around. There's a big old iron wall at the end of the hallway. The other hallways on the left and right are blocked by metal grates.
I see.
It looked as though 7 was right. The door in front of them was their only choice.
All right, let's get moving.
He pulled open the door and walked in. Junpei took a deep breath and followed. Okay, so now we can rescue Snake from the coffin. It appeared they'd been telling the truth.
No way.
The first thing Junpei saw as he entered the room was the number. 9. Like all the others, it was a rough thing made of red paint. The door it decorated sat on the back wall of a rectangular room. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, I mean, it's unlocked, so we should be able to go over here. Junpei ran up to it.
The 9 door.
It was a large double door with powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic, and it made the red paint look especially garish.
We're finally here.
Junpei grabbed the handle and shook. It didn't budge, but then he hadn't really expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. Its display read vacant.
No doubt about it. This is door 9. Oh, finally! This is the last.
Junpei felt a flood of emotion wash over him. He felt a chill down his back, and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil. There was a moment of complete silence.
Junpei, look behind you.
He turned around.
Behind? What?
Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw.
Why? A door and a 9. There's another one? Hey, what the hell? What the hell is going on here?
His words came slowly, and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen. On shaky legs, he made his way to the second 9. It was a small door, set parallel to the door they'd come through, but in the other corner of the room. Hey Ariel, welcome back. 9. There was no mistaking the number, and if any more proof was needed, a red was bolted to the wall near the door.
There's a red there too. That means... And of course it won't open.
He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, but because he had to make sure it was real.
Why?
Heading to bed but want to say goodnight? Thanks Ariel, good night, sleep well.
Why the hell are there 2 doors?
It was Ace who spoke first.
Do you think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one?
Lotus was skeptical.
I don't know about that. It seems unlikely.
What makes you say so?
Well, think about all the rooms
What
we've
makes
been
you
to
say
so
so? Well, mostly because I don't do any loot stuff. Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far.
They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where we just had to go with our best guess and leave it to instinct to solve the puzzle. Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero's going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck?
But how do you know there's no puzzle in here?
Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room.
No, I don't think there's a hint anywhere in here. I searched it very well when I was in here before. I didn't find anything that might have been a hint, though.
What about a coffin?
Well then, that means...
Yeah, both of these are the right door. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Junpei began to mutter to himself.
So if there are 2 number 9 doors, if we split it up, right?
That's not gonna work.
Junpei blinked and looked up at Clover. She held out her hand.
You've got a notebook and a pen, right? Can I borrow them?
Yeah, here.
Slightly confused, he pulled them out and handed them to her.
Look at this.
Clover opened the notebook to a blank page and set it down on the desk. Everyone else gathered around her and watched as she wrote down a series of numbers.
You get it? The numbers on the top are all the combinations with digital roots of 9. The numbers on the bottom are the people who don't fit. There's only 8 possibilities if we split up into 2 groups of 3 or 4 people. So...
If 3 people go through the door, then 4 are left behind. If 4 go through, then 3 are left behind. Right?
yeah.
Clover nodded, almost as if she were pleased with herself for solving a difficult math problem.
No way.
The room went very quiet. Silence lay across everyone like a thick, heavy blanket. No one spoke. Their faces were blank.
Come to think of it.
Desperate for something else to look at, Junpei turned his eyes to the room around him.
What is this room?
It's like a church. The walls were covered with candles. The wavering flame made the shadows of Junpei and his companions look as though they were dancing. 2 rows of wooden pews filled most of the room.
It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony.
It's missing a pew on this side, too. That's a little weird. I didn't realize that previously.
What kind?
Between them was a strip of rich red carpet. The carpet ran straight through the room, ending at the door that pointed to the stern of the boat. At the other end of the carpet...
Is that an altar?
It was a recessed space set into the wall between the 2 other doors. Sitting on a raised section of the altar was a coffin. A coffin. A coffin.
A coffin? No, it couldn't possibly be.
But if it wasn't, then whose body occupied it? That was as far as Junpei wanted to pursue that line of thought. He decided not to think about the coffin for the time being. At that moment, Seven spoke. There was an edge of humor to his voice, but it was forced.
Okay, I give up. I give up. I figured if we sat around here long enough, someone would volunteer. But I guess nobody's got the guts to do it.
What are you talking about?
Junpei didn't understand, and he wasn't the only one.
What? You guys didn't figure it out yet? Fine, fine. Let me enlighten you. Clover was mostly right with her little explanation earlier, but she missed something. She wasn't really wrong. She just... screw it! Let me just write it out.
Why are these people so good at math? Seven snatched up the notebook and began to write in it. Everyone else clustered around him, desperate for a look.
If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everybody out, Clover's right. But there's another way. Only one combination, though. If you split us up into groups of 3, 3, and 1, you can make this combination.
Wait, this means...
Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital room, I'd still be saying the same thing.
The same thing? Are you saying?
Yeah, I am. I'll stay behind.
Has his memory come back?
Why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden? Are you some kind of idiot?
Maybe because he couldn't save the kids 9 years ago? Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered.
No, I'm completely against this. I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna have to owe you for getting out of here.
The rest of them began to speak all at once.
I'm against it too. I didn't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either.
I don't like that idea. There's gotta be other options.
I disagree as well. I can't say I care much for you being the hero.
Ace is like, that's my job. Finally, they quieted down. Junpei looked at Seven.
Well, there you go, Seven. Proposal denied. Clover's right. There's gotta be a better way than this.
Seven made some noise that was somewhere between a derisive snort and a cough. Derisive? Derisive? It's derision, so would it be derisive? But I feel like it's derisive. I'm gonna consult Google. Derisive pronunciation.
Derisive.
It is derisive, okay.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was doing his best to pretend they were making a foolish decision, but Junpei could see the twinkling of water at the corners of Seven's eyes. That was when Santa spoke.
Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet.
Until then, Junpei hadn't realized that Santa had stayed quiet for the whole discussion of Seven's fate. Something in his voice made Junpei uncomfortable.
Are you... agreeing? You want to leave him here?
Santa shook his head.
Nah, I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone.
Then I don't see how it matters.
I said alone.
Wait, so he wants to leave multiple people here?
Huh?
I said I don't want to leave Seven alone.
There was a dull shine in Santa's eyes. They were cold and hard. Junpei felt himself shiver.
What the hell are you...
What? You don't get it? I can't leave just one person. I need 2 more.
Huh?
3 people, including Seven. I'll be leaving behind 3 people.
Huh?
That's my proposal. No, those are my orders.
What do you mean, orders? What the hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's gonna listen to you?
You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice.
What?
3, 2, 1.
Santa was so fast, Junpei could barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance. His feet moving like lightning. He spun and... So he has the gun this time. He had June.
See? I told you.
His lips curled into a cruel, mocking smile.
Huh? What?
A shudder traveled the length of Junpei's spine. His chest froze and he could feel his breath go stale in his lungs. Nothing made sense. Junpei felt as though his head was about to explode. Santa's sudden change in attitude, saying that he needed 2 more. The gun in his right hand, a revolver. Santa had grabbed June from behind and pressed what Junpei's shaken brain identified as a revolver roughly against her temple.
Why? What the hell is that?
Where on earth had he possibly found a gun? Junpei's questions roared in his mind, but his mouth refused to ask them. Seven spoke almost as though he'd sensed Junpei's confusion.
The gun's from the other room.
What room?
One of the rooms behind door 6. I should have known he was gonna do this. I should have taken the gun.
Yeah, you shoulda. I said that when I went there, too.
Well, it's too late now, fat ass.
Damn it!
A mixture of fury and frustration twisted Seven's face, and he glared at Santa. Santa, for his part, didn't so much as flinch. The corner of his lip twitched into a slightly wider smile. Then the smile faded and he began to move. He walked backward, dragging June with him. Before long, his back was resting against the door. On the wall next to him was the red. He put his hand on the scanner panel quickly and then forced June to do the same.
Now, time for you to start following my orders.
I'm so confused about his motivation, because I get that he probably wants revenge for his dead sister, right? So I can understand why he would want Ace dead. But Clover and Snake were victims. And what did everyone else have to do with it?
Ace, Lotus, congratulations! I've chosen you to come with me. Put your hands in the red.
3 plus 6 plus 1 plus 8 equals 18. That was what Santa had meant when he said that he needed 2 more.
Hey, you deaf? I gave you an order.
Does he not know about Ace? He must. Santa's eyes narrowed to slits. He glared at Ace and Lotus. They stayed frozen like deer caught in the headlights of an oncoming car.
Right, fine. I didn't want to waste any bullets, but you guys just don't get it.
No sooner were the words out of Santa's mouth than his hand twitched. And the gun roared. A section of the floor exploded, scattering wooden splinters across the floor. A thin plume of smoke snaked out of the hole in the floor. There could be no doubt that the gun was real and worked.
He really shot it? But why? Santa, why are you...
Clover's voice spoke of betrayal and disbelief.
Santa, I thought you were one of us. I thought we were friends.
Let me save. I'm like now paranoid about the game crashing.
What?
You knew about the leaf words and the 4-leaf clover.
Santa's cheek twitched almost imperceptibly.
What the hell is that shit? I've got no idea.
You're lying.
Shut up. Just shut up, you stupid bitch! You want me to put a bullet in your fucking head?
Flecks of spit flew from Santa's mouth. His face twisted with rage. Clover recoiled, her eyes wide. When she spoke, her voice was very small.
Santa.
He snorted and then shook his head vigorously and turned to face Ace and Lotus.
All right, assholes. What are you still standing there for?
Is he mad at Snake and Clover because they got out fine and his sister didn't? Maybe he blames them. Maybe his sister was like left behind or something. So he blames them?
Get over here and scan those bracelets. I don't have all day. Oh, what's the matter? Your hearing's starting to go? Going senile, maybe?
Ace and Lotus still didn't move. It almost seemed as if they couldn't move. June's face was pale behind Santa's arm. Her eyes were wild and her chest heaved with every quick breath, like an animal cornered by a predator. Junpei's mind worked furiously. What were they going to do? Then he realized something. There was nothing they needed to do. There was nothing to debate.
That's it.
June's safety was the first priority. That much was obvious. Doing as Santa had commanded meant that she would be safe from at least 2 threats. She wouldn't be shot, and she would leave the ship alive along with Santa, Ace, and Lotus. There was only one thing for Junpei to do.
It's the only way.
He turned to Ace and Lotus.
Please, go.
Huh?
No way.
Jumpy, what are you saying? If you stay here, you're going to be stuck, Jumpy. And so will Clover and Seven.
I know,
I mean, Seven was already willing to sacrifice himself.
but you don't need to worry about us. We'll figure something out. Right, Seven?
Right. You just leave it to us. It's gonna piss me off to do what Santa says, but...
Don't worry about me either. There's still something I have to take care of.
Yeah, she still has to find her brother.
No, no, you can't! Ace, Lotus, don't come over! Don't worry about me, please!
June was almost crying. Junpei walked around behind Ace and Lotus. He gently placed a hand on each of their shoulders
Please.
and pushed them towards the door. They almost stumbled, then righted themselves and took another step, and another. They turned around and Junpei nodded.
Go.
all right.
Fine.
Ace and Lotus turned around again and walked slowly towards the door where Santa was waiting for them. After what seemed like an eternity, they stopped in front of the door marked 9. Santa smiled.
All right, now let's get those hands on the scanner panel. What's the holdup? What? You think I'm fucking around here? I don't give a shit about this girl. The reg doesn't need a person, you know? All I need is the bracelet. You get it? Good. Now put your fucking hands on the scanner. I'm not gonna say it again.
He shoved the revolver harder against June's head and she winced.
Fine.
Ace sighed, defeated, and placed his hand on the scanner panel. Lotus went next. Lotus glared at Santa and slammed her hand against the scanner panel. The 4th asterisk blinked on.
Good job. Now, Lotus, pull that lever. Soon as the door opens, you get your ass in there. Try anything stupid, and you know what happens, right?
Damn it.
No matter what ending, Lotus either gets killed or forced through the 9 door. Junpei could almost hear Lotus's teeth grind. Oh, girlie, that's bad for your teeth. Don't do that. The door slid open. Door number 9 opened at last. It opened with a low, powerful rumble, a drum roll to welcome the chosen few.
Good. Go.
Lotus and Ace walked through the door, their eyes furious but defeated. Santa waited until they were all the way inside, and then hauled himself and June across the threshold as well. 6, 7, 8.
Later.
After exactly 9 seconds, the door swung shut. The gust of air it created caused the candles on the altar to flicker and die. The room fell silent. Junpei, Clover, and Seven had been left behind. Clover looked down at her hand and traced with her finger the faint blue veins that crisscrossed them. Seven shoved his arms into the front of his overalls and scratched his stomach. No one spoke. Silence made the air feel thick and oppressive. Desperate for something, anything to occupy his mind, Junpei walked to the larger of the 2 9 doors. He stood in front of it and looked at the red. It read, "Engaged." He moved to the smaller door. The red read, "Vacant." The digital root of the remaining people was 7. 5 plus 4 plus 7 equals 16. 1 plus 6 equals 7. There was no possible way for them to open a door with a 9 on it. Go back and get Snake's bracelet. Easy peasy, guys. Junpei touched the surface of the door.
June.
He thought about June, about Akane Kurashiki. Was she safe? That was all that mattered to him. If she was alive, if she'd escaped this terrible boat. That was what Junpei prayed for. Seven came up next to him. He pulled off his hat, scratched his head inside.
So, what do you want to do, Junpei?
What do you mean, what do I want to do? What can we do?
Seven opened his mouth to respond when... Hell yeah. There's our boy. A noise echoed through the room. Someone was pounding on something vigorously. It wasn't mechanical, it was certainly human. Junpei and Seven looked at one another.
What the hell is that?
Shh, quiet!
Clover motioned to Seven to be quiet. She put one finger to her lips and closed her eyes in concentration. The three of them listened, trying to determine where the sound was coming from.
Where is it coming from?
You'd think it would be obvious.
Could it be?
Hey, I think it's coming from this coffin.
You're right!
Let's open it.
What I don't understand is why was Snake banging on the coffin instead of shouting?
But how?
What are those muscles for? For show?
You're telling me to force it open?
Just shut up and try!
Junpei and Seven grabbed hold of the coffin. They tried to get a good grip with what little purchase they could find, and pulled with all their strength.
Damn it!
It won't even budge.
Maybe it's really thick and soundproof? But then would the banging work? I guess it would. There was some sort of keypad attached to the coffin. Its purpose would not have been difficult to determine. Their eyes were almost immediately drawn to it.
Not another one.
Yeah, looks like it.
Do you think we have to put in the right password or it won't open?
I think so.
The noise wasn't stopping. In fact, it was getting louder.
Whoever or whatever's inside this thing wants out. And now.
I know that. But how?
Without a passcode, I don't think there's much we can do.
They couldn't even tell how many numbers the passcode needed to be.
Isn't there a hint somewhere?
Well, let's look for one.
You're the one with the note, Clover! Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anything near the coffin. Clover ran to examine the pews, and Seven investigated the desk, but they turned up nothing.
Ugh, there's nothing here.
Not making this easy, are they?
The sound still wouldn't stop. It wasn't a noise that belonged in that room.
What's the passcode? What am I supposed to do? How can we figure it out? I need something.
We got the note. The world blinked. Suddenly, there was a voice inside of Junpei's head. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Ah, now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand.
Wait, what? What the hell was that? That voice?
Telepathy. Junpei was utterly and completely baffled.
Huh? What?
What's up?
Seven and Clover ran over to him, but Junpei didn't know what to tell them.
Huh?
If he told them he'd heard a voice, they'd laugh, or worse, think that he was going insane. So all he said was...
Oh, nothing.
He cleared his throat a little too loud and looked pointedly down at his bracelet. There were a pair of small buttons protruding from either side of it. Junpei. He pressed the buttons. Truth had gone. Truth had gone. Truth had gone. Right? That was it. Eight numbers blinked on and then off on the bracelet display. Junpei checked one last time. 1 4 3 8 3 4 2 1.
1 4 3 8 3 4 2 1.
Huh?
Huh?
Hey, what the hell were those numbers?
Oh my gosh, are those...
Junpei didn't answer. He simply walked straight to the coffin. He knelt down in front of the keypad, running over the numbers in his head so that he wouldn't forget.
1 4 3 8 3421. 143-83421.
With trembling fingers, he punched them in. That was all of them. He punched the E button. There was a moment of complete silence. Then there was the sound of the coffin lid unlatching. Someone sat up out of it.
No way! What? Why are you...
Oh? Is that you, Clover? I apologize for worrying you.
I still don't know what the deal is with the robes. Because they have like the planetary symbols on them too.
Snake!
How does the planet stuff tie in?
You? Why?
Junpei? And Seven? Is that you? Is everyone else there as well?
Just like Rip Van Winkle. Still, it was very much like Snake to simply cut to the heart of the matter and ask.
Oh. Jeez.
Junpei and Seven shared a wry smile. Clover's eyes were filled with tears.
You're back!
With a cry of joy, she leapt into Snake's arms.
Gently now. My body's still a little weak.
Oh, you're back!
Clover looked like nothing so much as a lost child who had finally found her home. She cried and cried and cried. Her eyes were red and her nose was running. She hiccuped and gasped as if she were about to begin hyperventilating.
You're back! You're really here!
Her voice was happy but almost desperate, as if she feared he would disappear again if she stopped talking to him. Tear after tremendous tear rolled its way down her face. Her small arms strained as she clutched Snake's body as tightly as she could. Perhaps she had convinced herself that he was real. Perhaps she was worried that he'd be gone the moment she let go. Perhaps she simply didn't know what else to do.
You're back!
Come now, what's gotten into you? You're acting as though I've returned from the grave.
'Cause you did!
Not this, though. You did! I really thought you were dead!
Huh?
You jerk! Idiot! Idiot! Idiot!
I hope we finally get to hear Snake's perspective of what happened. Because last time there wasn't really time for him to tell us. Clover broke into sobs so great she could no longer talk. It was a touching reunion between brother and sister. Even though Junpei knew they had little time, and every minute they waited was the minute they wasted, it felt cruel to pull them apart. Junpei and Seven sat down on one of the pews, waiting for Clover to calm down before explaining to Snake what had transpired.
I see. I believe I understand things rather well now, thank you. In the shower room, there is a dead body wearing my clothes. Because of that, you thought that I was dead, correct?
He'd quickly and neatly summarized the events of the several hours.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
You also discovered a corpse in the captain's quarters, and Santa turned on you here, in this room. Do I have it straight?
Well, the dead body in the captain's quarters is a surprise.
Sorry, there wasn't a good time to tell you.
Don't worry about it.
Well then, I've got a pretty decent idea of what happened while I was indisposed.
Do you?
But
Because I don't think I understand still.
it's still something of a mystery who did all this, and why. The corpse in the shower room that looked like me, and the corpse in the captain's quarters.
I'm pretty sure that they're the other people from Zero's hit list.
Why were they killed in the way they were?
You don't know?
No. Why would I?
The guy in the shower room. We don't know who he is, so let's just call him Mr. X. Anyway, this Mr. X is wearing Snake's clothes, but you're wearing some kind of weird robes.
Yes, you are.
That means someone took your clothes and put them on Mr. X. We need to figure out who that was.
I apologize, but I have no idea who might have done this to me. I only just now woke up. I was unconscious during all the events you just described to me. They must have undressed me and changed my clothes during that time.
When were you knocked out?
When we split up to look for the red.
Okay.
Where did they get you?
X
Do
really
you
gave it to
remember?
him.
It was a small room in one of the hallways on C deck.
What happened?
The same thing that happened to every one of us when we were abducted. A canister releasing some sort of gas was thrown into the room. I believe the gas is some sort of incapacitating agent.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, Zero brought him here, but then Zero knocked him out and hit him.
Then that means it was...
Zero.
Looks that way, huh?
There's nothing else I have to tell you. When I woke up, I was in this coffin.
Junpei crossed his arms and thought.
Why? Why did Zero make Mr. X wear Snake's clothes? How would that benefit Zero? I don't get it. What the hell does any of it mean? And I have no idea how I got the passcode for the coffin either. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Where did those words come from?
It's kind of like the automatic writing thing with the one author who wrote about the Titanic before the Titanic happened. I think, sort of. So, like, Junpei is telepathically communicating with himself across the timelines, maybe? Maybe?
Why did I feel compelled to push the buttons on the bracelet after hearing them?
Seven had asked him about it while they waited for Clover to finish crying. He had no answer for him then, and he still didn't.
All I know is my fingers moved on their own. It was like I did it subconsciously. I don't get it. What the hell does any of it mean?
Unless there's another Nevada trial going on. But I think it's some timeline stuff, maybe. His mind was a maelstrom of mysteries, clues, theories, and more mysteries. He could barely think.
Also, Snake and Clover had been subjects in a similar experiment 9 years ago.
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things.
Epiphany and danger.
First is epiphany, and the other is danger. And someone did actually die. A girl. Her name was...
There had been another experiment conducted on this same ship 9 years ago, and a girl had died during it.
Right, Santa's sister. We're like 90% sure.
Morphogenetic.
More like
field
99%.
theory. The two murders. Switching clothes. The nonary game.
And whatever strange thing was happening to Junpei himself. The maelstrom in his head spat out words and ideas that disappeared back into it, almost as soon as he grasped them. But as he struggled through them, Junpei began to realize something. There was something that tied all of them together. And the point connecting the dots.
Zero. He's the ringleader. The person who trapped 9 of us on this sinking ship. Zero should know everything. If we can uncover Zero's identity, all of our questions will be answered.
Who was Zero? Junpei had the beginnings of a theory. Could I pronounce Maelstrom? You want to double check if I'm saying it correctly? I will ask Google.
Maelstrom.
Strom?
Maelstrom.
Strom?
Maelstrom. Maelstrom.
I always said Maelstrom. Maelstrom? Boo! Why do I pronounce everything wrong? I'm gonna lie and I'm gonna tell all the UK viewers it's my American accent. If only Junpei could test his theory, or perhaps...
At any rate, we'll have plenty of time to decipher the details later. For now, it is of utmost importance that we escape. Junpei, it was 4:30 the last time you checked the clock, yes? That means we have less than an hour. We must hurry.
Hey, how are we gonna get out of here?
Well, now we add to 9.
Isn't that obvious? Through the other number 9 door.
5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 2 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. Wait. Oh yeah, okay.
Oh yeah! With Snake, we can open the door!
Don't tell me you hadn't figured that out.
As they sniped back and forth, Junpei glanced at Snake's left hand. He was wearing a bracelet with a 2 on it.
Come on, you gotta tell me these things.
I, assumed you'd figured it out.
Forget it. Let's just get going.
7 stomped off towards the smaller number 9 door. Clover, Snake, and Junpei followed. 7 quickly laid his hand on the red, and asterisk appeared on the screen. Junpei and the others followed suit and laid their hands on the scanner panel. I'm trying to remember what happened last time. Is this the door that we went to previously? I don't think I've ever gone actually through the door, right? I'm trying to remember where the incinerator was. I got well, I didn't get incinerated, but... Seven glanced at them and then laid his hand on the lever of the red.
All right. You guys ready to go?
Yes.
Yep.
Junpei paused for a moment.
Not yet.
Huh?
Before we go in, I'd like to check something.
You
Are we
want
going to the safe?
Check something.
Yeah, but before I do, 7, could you pull the lever? I want to make sure we can verify with just the 4 of us.
What do you mean? We don't need...
Just do it, all right? But if the door opens, don't go in yet, okay? Please, this is really important. I really need to check this, okay? Work with me here.
Junpei looked directly into Seven's eyes. The older man looked back for a moment and then nodded.
Fine.
Okay, so it worked. 7 pulled down on the lever and door 9 creaked open. Then they waited. 6, 7, 8. After 9 seconds, the door closed.
Huh.
What is he testing?
All right. That means the 4 of us can go into door 9.
Was he afraid that Snake's bracelet wasn't actually 2? Because the body had a 2 bracelet?
So, we knew that already. It's obvious.
Obvious. Yeah, you're right. It is. Now, what happens if we add Zero's bracelet?
What?
So you add 0 to it. it
Zero's bracelet?
But we know that Zero's bracelet is actually 6.
Why don't you take it out, Clover?
Which I don't understand what that necessarily means. Is it saying that June is 0? What's the implication? For a moment, Clover looked surprised, but she recovered quickly and stuck her tongue out at Junpei.
So you did know I had it. I picked it up because I thought it might be useful sometime.
She reached into one of the pockets of her voluminous jacket and produced a bracelet. Junpei took it from her and turned to 7.
This was on the left hand of the corpse in the captain's quarters. If you look at it, you can see it's got a 0 on the face. Just to make this a little easier to talk about, I'm gonna call the guy we found dead in the captain's quarters, Cap. Then I should be able to open door 9 with just me, Clover, and his bracelet.
Right. 5 plus 4 plus 0 equals 9.
So the big question is, if Cap is the mastermind of this game, would he really put one of these bracelets on? Anyway, let's just give it a shot. Clover, give me your hand.
Okay.
Now the captain's bracelet. And pull the lever.
However, the door didn't open. The res display read error.
I knew it. Now, what does this tell us?
Maybe the bracelet has to be on your wrist in order for it to work?
No, that's impossible. Did you see how the panel showed a 3rd asterisk when I scanned Cap's bracelet?
True, true.
Whether or not it's on your wrist doesn't matter. All you have to do is put the bracelet near the panel for it to register.
7 waved his bracelet in front of the scanner panel. Sure enough, a single asterisk appeared on the red.
Huh. Looks like you're right.
See? So what does that mean?
That it's not actually
There's
0.
only one possibility.
That bracelet isn't the number 0. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Can we figure out what it is, though, with this group of people? Because previously we were able to determine that it was 6.
Then what number is it?
Let's find out.
Junpei, scan the bracelets with this combination. So we already know that it's 6. So Snake plus Junpei would be 7. 7 plus 6 would be 13, so that's no good. Let's try the combination of like almost everybody. So Snake plus Junpei. So 7 plus 7, 14. Plus Cap's 6. Wait. 14 plus 6, that'd be 20, so that's no good. Snake plus Clover plus 7. Okay, so that's 6 plus 7 is the 13. Plus the 6 would be 19, which is... No, wait. Math? Math. 7, 4, 2, 6. That's no good. If we did 7, 5, 4, 6. No. If we do 2, 4, 6. That's 12. 7. Nah. 7 and Clover. That's 11. Plus the 6, right? Then this would be 6. So wouldn't that give you 17, which would give you 8? How do I get 9? Math. Okay, let's just do one at a time. Okay, 7 plus Clover, so 7 plus 4 is 11. Plus 6 would be 17, which is a digital root of 8. 7 plus 5 gives us 12. Plus Cap. Oh, that's it.
Let's try 7, me, and Cap.
This should be it. 7 plus Junpei equals 7 plus 5 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3.
If this combination opens the door, then Cap's bracelet is number 6.
Hey, it opened!
But
The
what does
door
it
opened.
mean?
What? Why? What does that mean?
Both 7 and Clover seemed rather shaken. As I turned to look at Junpei for answers, the door slid heavily shut. Junpei raised an eyebrow.
Isn't it obvious? Cap's bracelet is number 6.
But why? 7 plus 5 plus 6 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
But doesn't it say 0?
This isn't a 0. The symbol on here isn't a number 0.
It's not?
It's a letter O.
Huh?
Oh.
What does that mean? Why is it O?
Whoa, wait a minute. I don't get it. I mean, we figured out that Cap's bracelet is 6, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean there are 2 people with 6s?
Before Junpei could answer, Snake spoke up.
There is most likely only one person with a 6.
But I don't get it. What about June?
Well, this is only an educated guess, but I think June's number was never 6 to begin with.
But how would any of the math work throughout the game? JD says 0 is the 15th letter. 1 plus 5 equals 6. Yeah.
Her bracelet was flipped.
That was my theory at the very beginning of the game! That was my theory at the very beginning of the game. But then I did math and I thought it couldn't work out that way. Right? Let's think about this. Santa went through the door, so that's 3. With June, which we're now saying is 9, so that's 12. Well, we can actually disregard the 9, because we know that 9 does not matter. So we have Santa, Lotus, and Ace. So Lotus and Ace add up to 9, plus Santa's 3 becomes 12. So the digital root should be 3, right? If June was 9? Right? Or does the 9 actually matter? Okay. June and Ace are 10. Plus Santa is 13. Plus Lotus is 21. So yeah, it's 3. So how could her bracelet possibly be 9?
In other words, June's real number is
9.
This was literally my theory since the first time I saw the number 6 on her bracelet. Like at the very beginning of the game. But the math doesn't work. The math doesn't math.
That seems the most likely.
Then all this numbered door stuff was just a load of crap?
Why would you say that?
Because if June is 9, then the numbers wouldn't match up.
Thank you, Clover. Clover grabbed Junpei's notebook and began to write furiously in it.
Here, look.
Junpei leaned over to look at it.
List of all the numbered doors June's gone through.
I'll let you know what I'm writing, okay, Snake?
Number 1, door 4. 6 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 equals 22. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Door number 8. 6 plus 3 plus 8 equals 17. 1 plus 7 equals 8. Door 6. 6 plus 3 plus 7 plus 8 equals 24. 2 plus 4 equals 6. Door 4. 6 plus 3 plus 1 plus 8 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
And that's everything. I wrote down which door she went into and with whom. And I wrote what all the numbers were. So if you switch 9 in wherever there's a 6, the numbers don't work.
Right?
If the digital root is 7, then you can't open door 4.
Right?
If the digital root is 2, then you can't open door 8.
Clover, do you notice anything interesting on that list?
What do you mean?
You're talking about 3, right?
3?
Santa's always in the room with her. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
What does it mean? Thank you for the glove, Fry. So yeah, Santa was always in the room with her in this route, but not in other routes, right? When I dragged her through door 3... No, I think he was with me, actually. And then he was with us in the freezer. How'd he manage that?
What about it?
That's quite simple, really. You told me that the first time you came to this room, Santa was the first to refuse to leave June behind.
Oh.
Now, doesn't that beg the question why? Why would Santa do such a thing? The answer is easy. Because Santa can't open door 9 with only 7 in Lotus. Of course, there's only one reason for that. His number isn't actually 3.
It's an M. An M is the 14th letter, which is a digital root of 5.
Santa's real number, 7? Would you be so kind as to modify my sister's equations?
Yeah, sure.
7 took the pen from a confused Clover and began to adjust her calculations.
This is what you were getting at, right, Snake?
He read out the changes he'd made. When he finished, he looked at Snake. Snake smiled.
Thank you. That is exactly right, 7.
Okay, so this seemed to confirm my theory that Santa is 0. But then why is June's one swapped? And does June know about it? Is she in on this?
Santa's true number wasn't 3. It was 0.
No way. Santa is 0?
And June was 9, not 6. Conversely, Santa was 0, not 3.
Okay.
Plus 3 and minus 3.
But how did his watch say a 3 then? Was that one just a lie?
They cancel one another out. Nothing appears out of order.
Santa was still playing by the rules of the nonary game this whole time.
Precisely.
So you're saying Santa planned this whole thing?
GB said unless it's flipped and it's an E. Oh, wait a minute. A, B, C, D, E. Which would be... A is 10. B is 11. C is 12. D is 13. And then E is 14, which would be a digital root of 5. So that wouldn't work either, right, TP?
I'm not sure if he acted alone or not, but I think it is safe to conclude that he is Zero.
And if June is 9, then what was the 9th man's watch?
If my hypothesis is correct.
Clover bit her lip. She seemed to be having some difficulty believing her brother's explanation. Junpei. This is wild because literally, my first playthrough, at first I thought that June's bracelet was flipped, but I quickly concluded it wasn't because the math didn't math. And then, after I learned about Santa's sister, I thought he was Zero. Man, I had some good ideas in the first playthrough. And then the game convinced me they weren't good ideas. Ah, we got a bot. Thank you, JD. Thanks for dealing with the bot. Junpei remains silent in thought.
Snake's hypothesis. Something doesn't seem right. June's bracelet being flipped.
Because that would mean the 9th man is...
Even if that were possible, that would mean there are 2 number 9 bracelets.
Right.
And if that's the case...
All right, that's enough talking. Let's go. It's high time we went through that door.
Door 9 opened. They leapt through.
Oh, it's right there.
The 9th man had to be 9, right? Because otherwise he wouldn't have been able to open that door. Right? Because didn't he open the door by himself? No, maybe he didn't. Maybe he had people press up. I think maybe he had help. I think he used June, didn't he? So if he was working with, okay. Yes. Because he had June as part of the people that scanned their bracelet. So as long as June and the 9th man were both together, then they could be swapped. But then what about the, oh! The dad was directly in front of them as they came through the door. Quickly they scanned their bracelets. And the detonator stopped.
Oh.
After pausing for a moment to catch their collective breath, Junpei and his companions headed down the long hallway in front of them.
All right, let's keep going.
At the end was a set of stairs leading down into the ship.
I think these stairs go to the bottom deck.
They leaned out and looked over the side.
Looks dry.
Let's head down.
After deciding it was safe, they headed down the stairs. Before long, Junpei and his companions found themselves on the bottom deck. They turned left into another hallway, at the end of which they found another door.
Hey, it's a...
I don't know what that one is. Of course, there was a symbol engraved over the keyhole. It looked like a sort of harpoon that one would use to hunt fish, the kind with 3 prongs. Yeah, it looks like a trident. Snake traced the shape of it with his fingers.
This is the Neptune symbol. There must be a key around here somewhere.
Neptune key. I only have the Uranus key card.
Clearly, it wasn't going to open this door.
It's a different planet. Plus, it's the wrong kind of key.
Let's turn around and go back for now.
Yeah.
We've never seen the Neptune key, I don't think. After examining the door for a few more minutes, they gave up and headed back the way they came.
Hey, another door.
With a little more searching, they found a metal door.
And a card reader this time.
Okay, here we go. A symbol was engraved onto the card reader.
It's the Uranus symbol.
This is the place.
He muttered to himself and slid the card through the reader. It beeped once and the light on it turned green. I still don't know what the heck is up with this symbol. Don't you guys think this symbol's weird? It kind of looks like the Neptune symbol, actually. Or no, the Uranus symbol a little bit. Doesn't it? But then it's got weird tentacles. I keep thinking there's gonna be like something eldritchy because of this darn symbol. Junpei, Clover, Snake, and Seven looked at one another, nodded, and stepped through. The room they found themselves in was full of books. Oh, that's a lot of books. Holy moly.
It's totally full of books.
There's so many. I don't know where to look.
It looked remarkably like a library. Not the sort of library where large numbers of people came to read books. More like the sort of library that was simply a place to store books. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books, but Junpei did his best to speak with authority.
All right, if we want to get through that door out there, we need the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it.
Okay.
Very well.
Sure thing.
Good. Let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time. Hurry.
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge. As he began his search, for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind. Where did we originally hear that? It was in the file, right? Was it in the Alice file that we found? I'm trying to remember. I really should have taken notes when I played this game. This is really a game that requires you to write notes, just to keep track of everything. It's a coat rack, like a place where you can hang coats and hats and stuff. Well, this one's not too big, so maybe just hats? It's very little. This handrail's made of metal. There's a note on the table. Lights to the books. Huh, what does that mean? Interesting. Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. Have you ever thought about the pages of a book? Each page only sees, what, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of light before the reader's on to the next? They spend the rest of their lives locked in darkness. Rather like myself. That's horrible. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, not at all. I live in the darkness, yes. But that has gifted me with the ability to catch the truths that others might miss. I can hear the voices hidden in the darkness, you might say. There's a note on top of the table. It says, lights to the books. We got the handrail. We can go down, it looks like. Paleontology. This one's about fossils, right? Ammonites are pretty nasty looking. Why did mankind lose their tails? Junpei, do you know what this one's about? I think furries. Why are you asking me? I didn't even know we had tails to lose. Maybe you should ask a human with a tail. Mankind's ancestors most likely lost their tails as they were no longer useful, and the nutrients required to grow them were better put to use elsewhere. At least that's what I read. I was rather young, I may have remembered it incorrectly. Huh? Why the hell would a kid be reading a book like that? Mother Nature. Is that some sort of book about hippie chicks? Probably not. Except perhaps tangentially. It's most likely about environmental protection. I was just trying to make a joke. Dude, hippie chicks? Really? The Theory of Evolution. Heck, even I know this one. This is that Darwin guy, right? Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of Species. In it, he put forth his theory of evolution. Yeah, I remember that part. He called it natural selection. Exactly. This one says transition of extinct species. We need to hurry it up or we're going to end up in the pages of a book like that. Micrographia, huh? Ah, yes. Robert Hooke's famous work, first published in 1665. He built a microscope and examined insects, inorganic substances, and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He then drew pictures of many of the things he'd examined, and published them in a book. I'd hazard a guess the shelf is concerned with natural sciences. JD, what is that? Oh. Creatures of the South Seas, huh? I wonder if this one's got pictures of colorful fish and stuff. Introduction to geology, huh? Thinking about the Earth even when you're on the ocean. Kinda romantic in a way, I guess. Theories of the Cambrian explosion. Did a bomb go off near somewhere called Cambria? Wrong kind of explosion. Roughly 500 million years ago during what is known as the Cambrian period. Research suggests that the variety of living organisms increased by an order of magnitude. Why that happened is, however, still something of a mystery. There are a number of theories. This book is most likely a collection of them. Okay. Okay, so that's the left side, so then the right side. Obviously this is suspicious, but I won't look at everything. Are property values going up out in space too these days? Asking the important questions. Man, guess times are tough for aliens too. This one says cosmic inflation. Supersymmetric string theory and 10-dimensional spacetime. They're just talking about superstring theory. It's a theory of reality where, how to explain? It says that all elements of the universe are governed by the vibrations and harmonics of tiny supersymmetric strings. What's this? An overview of conformal field theory. Ah, well, it's a theory that posits an invariant quantum field where conformal transformation can take place. Knock it off with this science voodoo stuff. You trying to put me to sleep? This shelf has a bunch of difficult-looking books. Oh yeah, that's a suspicious one. All that's here is Faraday's laws of electrolysis. I believe that's going to be about electrolysis in an electrolyte solution. These particular laws were set down by Michael Faraday. Like the Faraday cages? Quantum gravity. 7, do you have any idea what this is? How about you start by using real words? Then maybe we'll get somewhere. Theory of general relativity, huh? Oh, I know this one. That's Einstein, right? What's the deal with these titles? Well, we can spell open up top. They're all just gibberish. Hey, what if we, like, switch them around? Switch them around? Yeah. If we move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot. Open sesame! How about this? Looks like putting those books in the right order opened this thing right up. Open here, find bulb. Huh, that was a piece of cake. Hooray! You did it, Junpei. I guess that turned out well enough. So the letters from the title spell out, open here, find bulb. Powerful light bulb. This light bulb looks like it's brand new. And it's really big, so it'll make a lot of light. So then we just gotta find out where to put it. There are a couple of books on this shelf. There's nothing in here anymore. Energy theory, huh? I don't even understand the dang title. Looks like this shelf is all science and technology. Teletemporation and telepathy. What the hell's this one about? Well, I know what telepathy is, but I've never heard of teletemporation. It refers to having the ability to travel through time. This book is called Teletemporation and Telepathy. This book is called, Mind Swap. You mean you could, like, change bodies with someone? Well, I guess I wouldn't mind switching bodies with my brother or Junpei too much, but I'd rather die than let Seven switch with me. What the hell? Like I'd even want to swap bodies with a little brat like... Hey, were you just imagining it? You were! Shut up! Yeah, well, he wasn't the only one. I mean, this is kind of like, That's sort of like what Clover was talking about before with the lock socks. A little bit, right? Kitab al-Azif. Man, they got some weird stuff here. I can't even pronounce this one. Who's that? Some famous guy? It's not a person's name. It's the name of a fictional book created by Abdul al-Hazard. It's said to be one of the sources used in the creation of the legendary Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. Oh. So these are all occult books and stuff. This one says The Golden Rabbit and the Moon on it. Does that mean it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon? Rabbits are pretty cute, but what's the moon stuff about? It's talking about the Judas tree that's said to grow on the moon, according to Chinese legend. Chinese legend has a Judas? Okay, now we can go down. Algebraic number theory. Math, huh? There's another one like that over here. You mean something like primary number theory, or analytical number theory, or geometry? Oh my gosh, how did you know? Nobody said anything about those. Well, number theory is usually split into 4 chief disciplines. If there was a book named Algebraic Number Theory, I took a wild guess that the other 3 would be there as well. Looks like I was right. He's so smart. He knows so many things. The Pythagorean Theorem. This is a famous one. Sounds like there are a number of math books in this section. This one's Gold Box Conjecture. Conjecture? What's it about? Like magic or psychic stuff or something? Right, I bet it's about jewelry, isn't it? It may have an odd title, but it's actually a very respectable mathematics book. It deals with one of the unsolved problems of additive number theory. I'm sorry I said anything. Look, let's not get into this right now, okay? It says Riemann hypothesis. What is there to hypothesize about with a Riemann? Isn't it pretty straightforward? Heavens, no. There are many factors. Length, girth... Snake? There are many factors. Length, girth, lubrication, or lack of. It's an exciting and rapidly growing field. Whoa. That's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. That's funny. Why is that funny? Aw. Huh? Dad kind. What the heck is this? Wasn't that a German mathematician? Maybe it's a compilation of his work. Owen, huh? Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about the English Revolutionary? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, these guys get additional volumes. Lieberens? Oh, Liebernes? This book is in German. It looks like it's the complete works of something. I've never heard of it. Well, if Snake doesn't know what it is, I don't think we'll ever know. Sheldrake. Sheldrake. Isn't Sheldrake... It says Sheldrake on the spine of this book. It's got the volume number written on the lower part of the spine. I don't know who that is. What is this? Oh, this is where we can put the light bulb, I think. Oh my god, there's so many things to look at. What's this? The origin of Japanese folklore. It looks like there's a bunch of books about Japanese culture here. Mostly ones about folklore, though. Well, folklore can cover a wide range of subjects. History, urban life, religious trends, environmental changes, oral traditions. Folklore can cover all of those things, if you know where to look. This looks pretty deep. Modern Japanese literature, huh? A picture book here? It looks like it's an old folktale. Don't you think it's a little weird that this book's the only picture book? Maybe you ought to hold on to it. Tales of Old Japan. Looks like it has a 3 there almost. It's got a magic wand on it. Okay. So what's inside? Well, aren't you gonna open it? Pretty sure it's just gonna have pages inside, smartass. Whoa! Oh. S E51? Or 351. Weird. SE-5. What is that? Well, when I opened it, these 4 letters popped out. So I guess it's a pop-up book, huh? SE5. I wonder what that means. Maybe that's like a category that we have to go to? Like maybe that's where the books are organized in section SE5? Agriculture and Historical Organizations and Folklore. Let's see what we've got here. So many books here. I wonder what this one's... Whoa, what's this? Warm? Oh. So sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hey, what's the deal with this sappy stuff? There are a bunch of books on folklore and myth here. Oh, I went up the stairs. Look, this one says Cultural Heritage of Rome. Bet that's gonna be a serious inheritance tax. A history of Buddhism. History of the medieval period. Maybe it's about Sir Lancelot? Isn't he just a story? I don't think you're gonna find a guy who didn't really exist in a history book. Oriental history. Maybe this one's about China's 4,000 years of history or something. Hey, Chinese history and Oriental history aren't the same thing. This book's called... Oh, wait, I already looked at that one. Hey, it's another one of those kids' picture books. It looks a lot like the other one we found. This one has some Native Americans on the cover. Hey, Junpei, take a look at this one. Native Americans, huh? Maybe it's got some... Whoa! Looks like... I'm not sure this one. Oh, hey, Mercury! Welcome, reader. Welcome, welcome. And thank you for the raid, Mercury. Hello, everybody. I'm Fangy. I'm a comfy, shape-shifting cryptid and clumsy maid from Moin Live, which is the group that Mercury is from. A Zoomer raid! Yay! Welcome, Zoomers! Let me do a shout-out for Mercury real quick. But everyone, if you haven't already, you should check out Mercury. He is a part of the same VTuber group that I'm in. He's very cool. He's like a ghost bike. I never remember the word. Is it suko? It's a thing. It's a thing. It's like a Japanese yokai kind of. It's cool. But welcome, Sukumogami. Thank you, Mercury. But welcome, Zoomers, welcome in. We are playing 999. We are at the very end of the game, so if you are worried about spoilers, this is your warning. But thank you for the raid back, Mercury. Thank you. I hope you had a good stream. I hope you had fun earlier in Oblivion. I guess this is one of them pop-up books, right? Got the letters L, R, and K popping out of it. Can't make any sense out of them, though. Large, round, and kinky? No, probably not. Where did I get that from? Here, I think? These books all seem to be about history. This one's called History of the Western World. Well, I'd assume it's about European history. Yeah. Just gonna leave it at that, Snake. Doesn't seem like you. Mercury said, I did. I gotta look around IRL duties again, but best wishes for the rest of the stream. Yeah, thank you! And thank you for lurking. Good luck with your offline duties. Permian creatures? Seems a little fancy for some kind of prehistoric critter. Not to mention most of them were likely reptiles and amphibians. Without hair, I can't imagine they had much need for perms. Oh, 7. That's got nothing to do with this. What's Hellenism? I think it's something like a fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. Hey, look at this. This book's called Greek Mythology. Dang, that thing's huge. Can't imagine anyone's actually read the whole thing. Pretty sure it just put me to sleep. So many books. Oh, geez, Louise. Principles of Monkey Behavior, huh? I'd imagine that's a book describing praxeology studies on monkeys. Monkeys are very similar to humans evolutionarily, so I imagine the research was fruitful. Functions of the human brain. Huh. I guess this is a book about the nervous system. I'd love to ask you to read it to me, but I don't think we have the time. I'm kind of curious about it, too. There's gotta be a reason why people connect with each other, you know? Dissection Atlas. Huh. This whole shelf is full of medical books. Oh, look, 7. Here's a book that's perfect for you. It's called Correlation of Muscle, Bone Density, and Bone Strength. You're just saying that because it says muscle. This one, it looks just like that picture book from earlier, the one with the pop-ups. You think they're a part of a series or something? They do have the same binding. Fundamentals of Baseball. There's a baseball in this one. Come on, Junpei, let's see what's in it. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's probably a baseball stuff. Whoa! This one says head. Even I can read this one. Huh. There aren't any other books here that look suspicious. Look, this one's called Recreation of Lost Human Functions. You think they're talking about if you, like, lose part of your body, then you could grow it back? Oh, recreation, not recreation. Recreation. I don't think so. Maybe they're talking about reconstructing abilities that humankind once possessed. In other words, they may be talking about cultivating a sixth sense. Ancient Gladiators. What's this book doing here? Maybe they were researching human physical limits across history. Human Equilibrium Theory. Human Anatomy. Regeneration of Internal Organs. This book is just called Dissection. Wait, up here too? From what I can tell, it sounds as though these books have been organized by genre. This library must be massive. I'm rather impressed by how well organized it is. Okay, we've looked at all the books, I think. This big opening in the door is the door to the library. It's pretty impressive. Almost looks like the door to a shrine or a church or something. There's another door after it, and then a passageway beyond that. And at the end of the passageway is a door with that Neptune symbol engraved on it. Hurry up, we need to find the key with the mark of Neptune. Okay, this sounds like a job for the best brother and sister team in the world. Man, it's like 7 and I don't even exist. Oh my god, there's so many books. I'm guessing this is why we're supposed to use the light, so that it tells you which books to look at, so you don't have to look at all of them. But like... Huh? I didn't yawn. What was that for, JD? I'm so confused. Man, this thing is narrow. I feel like I'm walking across a tightrope. Geez, Snake, aren't you scared? Imagine a wall 20 inches wide that runs along the top of a 10-story building. JD says I heard something that sounded like a small yawn. No, I didn't yawn. I was making a noise about how big this library is. Thank you, Kitty! Kitty is defending my honor. TV said Moog would probably come in here reading all these books. Oh yeah, this would be heaven. But a lot of these books are kind of boring non-fiction stuff. Imagine a wall 20 inches wide that runs along the top of a 10-story building. Could you walk along that wall, Junpei? No way. Then what about a balance beam in a gymnasium? Oh, well that's easy. You don't find that strange. A balance beam is far narrower than 20 inches. So why is it that a balance beam poses no challenge to you, but the hypothetical 10-story wall does? The light can easily turn people into cowards. From time to time, a life in darkness can give you courage. So this is where we started. There's too many books. It's too many. I can't handle this many books. I'm gonna plug the light bulb in. It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look like some kind of music stands. Okay, how about we try putting these picture books on the stands? Then... This is a little weird. There are 3 lights in this thing. They aren't very bright, though. Hey, didn't we find some kind of really powerful light bulb earlier? Why don't you put it into one of these lights? Yeah. Well, it'll get a lot brighter, but if there are 3 lights, that means 3 light bulbs. There won't be much point unless we can replace all 3 bulbs. We need 3 light bulbs, huh? So then the shadows are gonna spell something down here, I assume. Okay, time to keep looking at books. There's more down here? This bookshelf has a sort of glass inlay. It's pretty big, but there's only 6 books on it. That seems kind of weird. Hey, it looks like there's something on the bottom. I can't really see it though. The glass is all foggy. It's locked? The glass door has a metal frame and that's locked up tight. Okay, so I gotta get... You know what? Maybe these numbers I'll get from the book shadow things. In the middle of the glass door is a cylinder lock. You know, the kind of lock where you rotate the numbers around until you got the right ones to open it. What the hell is this? It's like they just gave us the answer. Guess I might as well give it a shot. Huh? Hint? Oh. Oh. Okay, well in that case... 632415? Or is that also a 6? It must be 5. 632415. I might have the opposite order. Okay, it might be the opposite order. So 514236. 5, 1. 1. Wait, I want it in the middle though, right? You probably want the middle. 5, 1, 4. Yeah, the middle row. 514236. 2, 3, 6. 514236. Right? 514236. I'm tilting my head. Okay, that didn't seem to do it, so maybe I had the right order the first time, just in the wrong section. So in that case, 632415. 6, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. There we go. You did it, Junpei! Yay! I don't know why, but I don't really feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if we can get it open, alright? All 6 books seem to be pointing at the cylinder number lock. Oh, it's another light bulb! Yahoo! Now we just need one more. There are books here in all sorts of languages. I can't read them. This iron plate is bolted down. I don't think it's a door, I think it's just a wall. Okay, time to look at the rest of these books. Energy theory, development of nanotechnology materials, interactions between shortwave energy and matter. What else have we got? Just listening to you read those titles is giving me a headache. Can't say fancy technology stuff and I get along really well. Keep on talking about that stuff and you're gonna put me to sleep. But the black hole hypothesis. Gamma ray astrophysics. I guess this bookshelf has an astronomy theme. What? Okay, so this is where we got the bulb from? So we did check that area already? Had I? Oh. Okay, I had. Okay, so then... Have I looked at everything? Okay, this one I don't think we've looked at. Okay. Automated robotic assembly line techniques. Huh? What's that? Some sort of comic book? Geez, I guess boys really like that stuff, huh? No, you're thinking of a different sort of robot. This book is talking about automated machinery that's used to build things like cars. Communication and computer science, huh? That's a pretty generic title. It's To be honest, it's so vague I don't really know what it might be about. What's this one called? It says Foundations of DNA and Genetic Engineering. An overview of photochemistry? I think whoever set this up wanted us to see the cover, not the spine. Let's look at it, okay? Huh. Looks like there's a whole lot of space behind these books. Look, Junpei! I think there's something hidden behind the books. Okay, there's our other light bulbs. Now I have all the light bulbs. Well, there was a light bulb here. There isn't anything here now, though. Okay, that was up here, right? This book is called Principle... Wait, I looked at this one. What? So did I just miss that last time somehow? I guess I just missed that one. Do you think we should hold hands where there aren't any handrails? I'll be fine. I can feel vibrations in the floor that tell me where I am. Oh, that's not what I meant. A bookshelf downstairs. Don't shove. I'm not kidding, don't push me. What the heck, man? I wasn't gonna, but now that you bring it up. The screen is just like too samey for me. The top of the library. So I get like all confused about what I've already looked at. Well, hopefully I looked at everything. Alright, so here are 3 lights. I'm gonna change these bulbs. Now they should... Sheldrake 5. Awesome, it worked! Way to go, Junpei. Good job, buddy. But like, if I had put the books in a different order, wouldn't it not work? These letters, they seem familiar. Sheldrake 5. Which is down here. Alright. Why can't I take it? Huh?
Sheldrake 5?
I think I saw the rest of this collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Yeah, I guess they need to talk about it first.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Sheldrake.
Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean.
Yeah, Lotus told me about him.
She did?
There's a British biochemist
Oh.
named Sheldrake. He
The
has a
dog
rather
picture one.
interesting theory. Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Yeah.
Really? From Lotus, huh?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did?
Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger.
That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
But the thing is, the dog pictures, that experiment didn't involve any danger. I guess it involved epiphany, kind of, with people realizing like, oh, it's a picture of a dog. But there's no danger.
You did? Why?
Well...
Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
Yeah, just tell me.
Tell you what?
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Ugh. Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything.
Let's save since we haven't in a while. Better safe than sorry, right?
But not here. Let's move to the top floor.
Are you gonna push me off? Why? Why are you making me go to the top floor?
I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation
No,
is
don't
quite
manifest it, TP. No crashing. No crashing.
Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course.
It was in the Braille note, and then you didn't tell us everything that was in the Braille.
He gave me a message engraved on a card.
Oh, on a card?
That's
Oh yeah, this.
a Braille card. It looks just like the one you showed us earlier.
Oh, so there were multiple.
So you had 2 cards.
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the nonary game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say, there was something I couldn't read.
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator.
What a jerk.
It's a threat on our lives.
Oh.
Santa's a jerk.
Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
Yeah. Does Zero not know that Clover was part of the experiment? Because Zero was on the ship side and not the Nevada side? Oh no. Because the one that died, his sister died, which means she was probably on the ship side. Which I think would mean he'd be on the Nevada side. But maybe not. Maybe they're both on the ship side.
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high.
I knew it!
I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why?
Clover told me about the four-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it.
So he was on the ship.
He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was.
You guys died in a bunch of the endings. But I guess that was mostly due to Ace.
Hey, Snake?
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada.
Oh, okay. So both groups were in danger then. I thought it was like one group was on the ship in danger, and the other group was just like, you know, sitting at a table trying to receive telepathic messages. But it sounds like that's not true. It sounds like they were both in death games.
And the girl that died during the experiment.
Okay.
She told you all that, did she? At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine...
So yeah, so the dead girl, Santa's sister, must have been in Clover's group then.
Is who did this and why, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals. There were 4 of them
Hi,
running
Ozzy.
the show.
Hello, hello. Clover said she'd never met her. Did she say that? I don't remember her saying that. I remember she was gonna tell us the dead girl's name, but then got cut off by Ace. Oh, thank you for lurking, Ozzy.
Gentaro Hongo.
Kentaro Hongo.
Nagisa Nijisaki.
Nagisa Nijisaki.
Teruaki Kubota.
Yeah, so those 3 names I don't know at all. And then the last one is gonna be Ace.
Kagichika Musashido.
That one is Ace.
Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Well, so this one over here is the 9th man, I think. Maybe? I think.
Nijisaki was his right-hand man, and did the lion's share of the planning.
So this could be 9th man, this could be Ace. This is the fake Snake, and then this was the captain? I think?
Kubota led the company's research and development division.
Yeah, he's a
Musashido was
nerd,
their
that's the
majority
9th man.
stockholder.
Okay, so not Musashido. Hongo? I think this one's Ace.
It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment.
Yeah. I think the 3 dead bodies we've seen so far. 9th man, fake Snake, captain, and then here's Ace.
Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
Okay.
Huh, so it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido.
Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research.
Because this guy has a pretty similar build to Snake.
All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project.
Okay.
They named it the Nonori Project. The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will.
What I'm still confused about is the newspaper article said that 16 kids went missing. But we know that the Nonary experiment, at least the previous one, had to have had 18 people. So who were the extra 2 kids? That's what I want to know.
Vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field.
Huh.
So they wanted to learn mind control? So mind control via the telepathy?
Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change?
Could the other 2 have been kids of the planners? Maybe? Or maybe they're like undercover? Like I don't know.
Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produce the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why is that? How could it happen? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye.
I wonder if anyone has ever become a conspiracy theorist after playing these games.
And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory.
Can't bring yourself to believe it?
Yeah.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
Okay.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
Okay.
That's right.
But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up.
Okay.
Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstand.
Mass handstanding.
Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen?
If there was a person who had the same effect. Huh. So were they trying to like create a person? Is that where the lock stock stuff comes in? With like the body part swapping?
If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well.
Is that person Alice? The Egyptian priestess?
Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's no way.
I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then? A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver.
Okay.
What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these?
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Close enough, at least.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first.
Okay.
At least, that was how they thought.
Oops. I didn't have it on novel screen this whole time.
That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began.
Snake suddenly looked very serious.
By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment?
Junpei cleared his throat and tried to act calm.
Yeah, that was an experiment in telepathy, right? You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see.
Interesting. I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct.
So, why did you bring up the Gansfeld experiment?
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project.
Oh.
The hospital in a remote town was affiliated
Right,
with
we know
Creative
that. All the kids were
Pharmaceuticals.
taken from the one hospital.
Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped.
His face barely moved as he spoke.
There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total.
Yeah, so it was always siblings.
For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert.
Okay, so that is Clover, and I think Santa's sister.
The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A.
So this would be Snake and Santa?
Group A was then placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields.
TP said Nam cares about something with this whole people in different rooms thing. What are you curious about, TP?
The first is epiphany. The other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany.
And that's why we set up these escape rooms.
The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. That's where Hongo came in. They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic.
Yep.
The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room.
Yep.
Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. He had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the Nonary game as the ship sunk.
Ah. The whole if you're looking at something and asking someone else what you're seeing, you're wondering if this would work? I mean, I think the Gansfield stuff is real. I think it was a real experiment. But I don't think the fact that, like, it works is real.
By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields.
So how did the one girl
die? The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Every detail was exactly the same. Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answers, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown. Those were his orders. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical. Everything was just like the real Apollo 13. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in. By putting themselves in the same situation, They attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with. Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely.
Okay.
It was the same with the Gigantic in Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of Epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the field.
Oh my god!
Oh, hey, Manuel. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, welcome, raiders. I'm Fangy. I'm a comfy shape-shifting cryptid, and I am just wrapping up the game 999 currently. We are on the last ending, so beware of spoilers. Let me do a shout-out, though. But welcome, everybody. I hope you had a good stream today.
The children in Group A, however, they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage.
Snake sounded defeated. His half-hearted attempt at derision served only to show how much the story had affected him.
Huh.
Just as Junpei was about to speak.
Hey, Junpei, Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses? Get down here already!
Seven's voice echoed up from below. Snake took a deep breath and blinked rapidly, as if just waking up from a long nap.
He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon.
Snake headed for the stairs, but Junpei put out an arm to stop him.
Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you.
Hmm?
Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
Yeah, because the newspaper said 16.
Why?
Well, I thought it was only 16.
Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it?
Does that mean 2 people died?
Yes. I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play a nonary game with any less, could you?
Right.
Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong?
Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing.
What's the point of including this detail, though?
They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi.
Is this Santa and his sister?
The sister's name was...
Light? Yuki?
Her name was...
Snake couldn't seem to bring himself to continue. Oh, you know what? I think Santa told us that him and his sister were orphans, and that he basically had to take over as like a parent figure. So yeah, it was about Santa and his sister. Snake couldn't seem to bring himself to continue. It looked as if what he was about to say brought him great pain.
Her name was Akane.
What? What? Huh? I mean, we were friends with Akane, and she went missing 9 years ago. So I thought maybe she was involved in the game somehow, but... Huh. She's dead? So then... Is this like what Clover was talking about? Where the body part swapping thing? And whether or not you're still the same person? I better save. What the heck?
That was the girl who died.
And we know that Akane keeps getting fevers throughout the game. But... Huh. Junpei felt as if he'd been punched in the stomach. His vision went blurry, and his head felt light.
Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago? Then, who is June? No. That's impossible. It can't be true.
Is she made up of, like, body parts from all the other people? Does she have Snake's arm? Is she a Frankenstein?
Akane isn't that uncommon of a name. If Snake had known her last name, that's a different matter entirely. So they share a name. A lot of other people do too. It doesn't mean anything. It was someone else. Of course it was.
No, everything has to be deliberate. They went to a lot of work to kidnap all of us. We have to be connected somehow. Junpei shook his head hard and pulled himself back to reality.
Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange.
Then Snake had noticed. Junpei cleared his throat and tried to act calm.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there.
Dude,
alright?
Snake just gave us all this juicy info and we're not gonna share what we know with him? Not cool, Junpei. Okay, like, maybe we want him to, like, protect our zombie girlfriend, but, like, still. Snake raised an eyebrow but said nothing. He headed down the stairs, Junpei bringing up the rear.
I couldn't do it. Why didn't I ask? What's her last name? I just couldn't get the words to come out.
With every step he took, the cold, hard sound of feet against metal dug at his heart. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Huh. Well, this is not what I expected. That's for sure. Sheldrake, this is it. This is what the shadow picture was pointing to. But didn't it say 5 at the end of the shadow picture? Yes, I think we need to find the 5th volume. Well, would you look at that? There's a big red button behind this book. I guess we should press this button. June seems to have memories of her childhood. What was that sound? It sounded like something really big was moving. It came from the top floor. Alright, let's go check it out. Uh, 13, 14, right? 13, 14, 10, 13? Well, I bet you've got to type something on that keyboard. Yeah, but you can only enter letters. And it looks like you only enter 4 letters. Let's see how it works. I guess you need to hit enter once you type in the letters. And you can erase what you typed with clear. Okay, I get the basic operations. Let's give it a shot. What? And this is, yeah. But it has to be letters? 13, 14, 10, 13. Let me write this down. 13, 14, 10, 13. If we convert this to hexadecimal... So let's, okay, wait. Think about this, guys. It's Roman numerals. We convert it to regular numbers. Then we convert it to hexadecimal. Or we revert... We think that's in hexadecimal, so we convert it back to base 10. So then 13 would be... A, B... Yeah! Thanks, JD! Yay! You did it, Junpei! It's unlocked now. Good job, Junpei. Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? Just makes me think whatever's waiting for us isn't good. So what? Jeez, you're such an old lady. We can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on, we got it to unlock, didn't we? Let's go, hurry up! Fangy is the master of using someone else's brain to solve puzzles for her. That's not fair, you didn't even give me a chance to do the math. That's not fair, JD. I was gonna solve it myself, but you put it in immediately. Ozzy said, are you gonna be checking out 100 Line in the future? Yeah, I already have it pre-ordered. I have that pre-ordered. I know, because Ozzy is a Danganronpa fan. So it's no surprise that you're also interested in 999 and 100 Line. But there's 2 doors. It's a thick metal door. There's a handle in the middle of it, though. Alright, handle, it's time we got this over with. Damn it. I can't get it to open. This thing won't even budge. What? Why not? We put in the password. What else do we have to do? Then that means... It's the other door. Maybe we have to try and open both at the same time? Alright, let's get this thing open. What's the point of the two doors then? You found it! So I'm sorry the stream is going so late, guys. I did not realize there was so much content left. The door opened, and Junpei and the others leapt through it.
Alright, this is the next.
Just as Seven was about to finish his sentence, their attention was drawn to the clang of metal and metal ringing out behind them.
Ugh, the door!
They spun around. The door they just come through had slammed shut.
Did that just close on its own?
Don't tell me we can't go back.
I don't know. Let's see.
Junpei grabbed hold of it with both hands and pulled with all his strength.
Damn it. It looks like it locks automatically.
Is there any other way out?
Well, there's another door over
It's
on
a
the right.
dump.
There's a card reader next to it.
There's another door over on the right that's a card right next to it. I mean, is that not the door that we tried to get in through and we couldn't? Doesn't that just go back out?
It's got a red light on it, though.
Okay, so we gotta
I'm pretty
find...
sure it's
Okay,
locked, too.
we gotta find the Neptune key in this pile of junk, I think, and then leave.
But there is a card reader, right?
Yeah.
Then perhaps if we find a key card, we could open the door and leave?
Well,
We still have the
yeah,
key
that
card.
might work, but...
Hey! Wait a minute. Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card?
Yeah, this is a dump.
Man.
They took a second look at the room they found themselves in. Oh my god. It was filled with piles upon piles of all manners of things. The only word that could describe it was chaotic. It was like a tornado had passed through, followed by a giant who'd picked up and shaken the entire room a few times. We've got the scanners, we've got the deads or the reds. Jeez. There's some kind of fancy knife here. There's all kinds of stuff.
Looks that way.
Junpei's heart fell.
No way!
For real?
Clover and Seven looked as though they were about to cry.
Well, we can sit down and wait to die, if that's what you prefer. I rather doubt that, however, so it would be wise to start looking. We haven't much time. Let's find that key card. Oh, and the Neptune key as well. We won't be able to get through the hallway without it. All right then, let's begin.
Do we really have enough time to do this? I feel like it's been more than 90 minutes in real life. There are piles of crap everywhere. Man, this place is a mess. It's so messy, I don't know where to start. Some of this crap looks familiar. I think a lot of these are parts of the puzzles we've solved in the other rooms. If that's true, then, this room could be Zero's laboratory. Perhaps Zero would shut himself in this room to devise the machines and puzzles that he'd need to see his plan come to fruition. It's just a pile of junk. There's nothing useful here. Hey, Junpei, isn't this a nautical table? Yeah, I feel like I've seen this before. A ruler that's attached to the drafting table. A light that's attached to the drafting table. It's got this little metal arm that holds it up. A drafting table. Looks like it's been used quite a bit. Look, Junpei, the rust on here looks like Elvis's face. Yeah. How exciting. It's a chair. Gosh, this desk is really big, and it feels really sturdy. Yeah, it does seem pretty heavy duty. I suppose it belongs to whoever uses this room, wouldn't you say? Whoa. Ozzy says to let you know for pacing, this is the final room in the game for reals. Between this and the final cutscenes, there's probably another 2 hours. Oh. I didn't know that. If I'd known that, I would have just done a separate stream on a different day. Oh, jeez. It's already 11. Oh boy. We might have to stop here for tonight, guys. It's already 11 here. Because I have stuff to do tomorrow morning. I have an appointment. Let's stop here for today. I'm sorry we weren't able to finish. It's 4 a.m. in the UK. I'm so sorry, Kitty. I'm so sorry. We're gonna stop here for today, guys. I did not realize this last route would be so long. Goodness. Okay. Let's stop here for tonight. Yeah, thank you so much for the heads up, Ozzy. Thank you so much. I did not know that at all. Let's go raid somebody. Let's see who's on. Alright, my friend Shy is on. And they are drawing. That's pretty cozy. That's a nice cozy raid for tonight. We'll go raid Shy. Everybody say hello to them. And we will say bedtime raid. Because I am a sleepy cryptid. Alright, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I know this was a really random time for me to stream. We will have to finish up 999 some other day. Tomorrow, I'm doing a collab over on the Moe channel, the Moe YouTube. We're doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I think it's the PS2 version. And then Friday, we'll be back here on this channel to play Hello Kitty Island Adventure. And then we'll see if over the weekend we can stream 999 or maybe next week. Well, we'll find out. But alright, everybody, thank you so much for keeping me company. I hope you all have a good rest of your evening. I hope you have a good night if you're going to bed as well. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, hi, Baltic. Bye-bye.